What's good? Welcome back. In this video we are going to create a simple animation with geometry nodes and create something similar to what you see right now. Okay, then let's go. So first off, I'm going to delete everything that is in the scene and we create us a new cube. We can drag us a new window to open the geometry node settings. So I'm choosing geometry node editor. We can create a new geometry node. Okay, we are going to need a cylinder. So I'm searching for a cylinder. We can drag this in. Let's give it vertices 100 and side segments also 100. I'm going into the wireframe mode so we can see what's going on here. Okay, we can also subdivide it. So I'm using the subdivide mesh. Let's delete the group input. And let's add a mesh to points. We can decrease the value here a bit to something like 0, 1. And we can add a simulation node. So I'm hitting Shift A and search for simulation and just drag this in the end here. Let's connect these. And what we want to do is add an set position node. Drag this in the middle and we are going to add in a noise texture. And plug this into the offset. Okay, if we press spacebar, you can see the animation is like running to the side here. We can uncheck denormalize and it should stay in place. Now we can decrease the scale from the noise texture and you can see this looks kind of nice. And because the animation or the simulation is way too fast, we can make it a little bit slower with a math node. Drag this in here. Let's use multiply. And now we can change the speed of this. Let's make something like 0.02. Yeah, it should be way slower now. And this is already so nice. But we're gonna add some stuff to it. Then let's randomize the scale of the individual points. So we can just add in a random value and drag this into the radius. And if you press Shift plus the arrow keys, you can go to the end of the animation or the start of the animation. So I'm hitting Shift and left arrow to get into the first frame of the animation, and let's add in the minimum value of 0.01 and let's try 0.2. We can decrease this a lot. Let's make it 0.03 for the maximum and the minimum is 0.01. So if we play the animation, it looks a little bit more organic with the different sizes from the points. And yeah, we can try something different too. So let's duplicate our cylinder with Shift D and give it a bigger radius than the first one, something like 1.2. And let's add in a joint geometry node. And we can plug in the other one here too, pressing Shift and left arrow to get into the first frame, and we can decrease it to 1.1 in the radius, getting back to the first frame and see what this does. Let's speed up the animation a bit to 0.04, maybe even faster. Let's make it 8. We can change these values before we are going to render it. And I would probably subdivide the mesh to 2 levels or maybe even 3. And I probably would also go to decrease the fill segments to something like 3 on both of these. Let's get the subdivide mesh back to 2. Yeah, it's kind of cool. You can add another cylinder here and give it an even bigger radius. Let's make this 1.2 and also drag it into the joint geometry node. Getting back to the first frame. Let's play it again. Yeah, this is nice. And as you can see, the simulation is kind of stuck here and not all the parts are moving. We can change that by changing this node here to the vector math node instead of the normal math node. So I'm using the vector math node, plug it in here, change it to multiply and drag this in. And we can change the speed again to 0.08. Let's see what this does. Getting back to the first frame. Yeah, and now all the points are moving. And I would probably make it a little bit slower. So let's try 6. We can delete the other node. And yeah, this is the basic technique for this. Let me show you the geometry nodes here. So we got a couple of cylinders here added with the joint geometry, subdivide mesh. Then comes the mesh to points node. Yeah, we use the simulation nodes, plugged in the set position node, and yeah, manipulated with the noise texture. So pretty simple setup. You can change the geometry to anything you like. Try out spheres or grids or planes. This will give you a whole lot of different results. So let's set up a quick camera. I'm going to duplicate our workspace and change this one here to the 3D viewport. We're going to hit Shift A to create a new camera. And let's get in the camera view on this side here. I'm locking the camera to view and find a cool angle that we can use for now. Let's use this for now. So I'm probably would go and plug in an HDRI. I use the Easy HDRI plugin. I think it's free. You can easily skip through all your HDRIs if you select the folder where they are located. So let's see. Probably go with something in the sky. So I'm using the original background. And I would increase the sky strength to something like 0.5. Maybe 0.4. So I'm also going into the camera settings and let's make the passport to 1. Then let's make a quick material for our simulation. So I'm getting back to the geometry nodes and we need the set material node to assign a material to our simulation. So I'm plugging this in the end here. We are going to create us a new material and let's choose this from the drop down here. Okay, we can duplicate our workspace again and let's change this one to the shader editor. The cool thing is we got a point node here, or point info node, and we can use this to basically randomize the colors of the different points. So I'm adding in a color ramp, plug in the random to the factor and the color to the principal BSDF. Let's get into rendered mode. We can change the metallic to 1 and roughness to something like 0.1. Let's use 0.1. Yeah, and you can basically add in some colors here. Let's use some orange and maybe some purple. We can leave the black one in here. And maybe something lighter. Yeah, maybe something like this. So I would probably change the interpolation type to constant. So every point got exactly the color that you picked with these things here. Yeah, we'll go to the Easy HDRI plugin again, and let's increase the sky strength. And yeah, now it's basically fine-tuning the whole animation. I would probably go in and yeah, make the smaller points even smaller, maybe something like 0.008. And something else you could do is add in a bake node, plug it in the end, and bake your whole simulation. This way you can, yeah, basically start the simulation at any point you want, and yeah, you probably don't need that initial state of the simulation where you can basically see it's a cylinder. So I would hit bake and render the whole animation. You need to choose animation in here in the bake node and hit bake. And now you could just start the animation at any point. Let's say we want to start it at 40 frames. Yeah, this would be the start of the animation or your render. Super easy, super simple. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.